Coming to you from the loading ready run orbiting underground moon base, it's the Lurcast.
It's just us.
Yeah, just me and Paul. How long has it been since it's just us on a podcast? I say just us. James is over there and he has his own microphone.
He doesn't count.
No. But
It's been a while.
because when we started doing podcasts, because I was like, we should do a podcast. It was
us all the time. It was like Graham and Paul, and then we would have
Yeah.
a guest on sometimes.
It was like Graham and Paul talk about the weekly video, and then sometimes Morgan is there, or sometimes James is there, and then it just became the whole crew does it. And that was like
yeah,
2005?
yeah.
Maybe?
I think we've
It
done.
was when I was still living at home.
Oh yeah, we've done one or two that were just us since then.
I
That-
believe you.
Was that there were just situations where
know.
there just happened to be not other people around, but not very often.
No.
No.
But this week we're talking about
The rest,
nothing that necessarily,
everybody else want to get ice cream.
yeah, it doesn't matter that it's just the two of us. Today we're talking about the things on our podcast set, actually. So if you are listening to this podcast, we will do our best to describe it, but this is probably better served to those of you who watch on YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, you could just look at like a still of it. You don't really
Yeah.
need the video.
Yeah. You can see that we're sort of sitting off to the sides at the moment. We'll move part way so that you can see the stuff that we're obscuring. But we're going to start with the stuff in the middle here. This monitor came from the airport. I wasn't actually going to start with the monitor, but I realized the monitor itself actually has kind of a funny story.
Yeah.
It was used as it was like a live feed webcam. There's, in fact, burned in to the top left. You probably can't see it on
No,
the
you
screen there,
certainly- you
but
certainly can't.
if you look closely in person, it says live web, but it's actually burned in because this was used at the airport to show like a webcam feed of like the tarmac.
I guess so. Yeah,
I don't actually know where it was
And-
used, but
and we use it. I mean, we got it originally because we use it for the chat monitor for Desert Bus.
yeah, but we only used it for 2 years at Desert Bus
We've used it for 2, and the actual story behind the monitor is
because
Ashton's father
right.
writes software that displays the images that you see on these monitors.
Right.
And the airport was replacing the entire stock of them. So they were getting rid of all of these, and it was happening around the time that Desert Bus was starting.
We got this for free.
It was absolutely free. It weighs a ton,
It's not light.
but it works really well for what we need it.
Works great for here.
and and so we've used that for the last couple Desert Buses for the chat monitor, and I seem to recall it was actually like we're at there's the burn-in thing. I remember Ashton talking about how it's like the airport was like, oh, we were going to get these plasma displays because they're inexpensive, and they were like, guys, it's going to have like still images up on it 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
It's going to burn in. You got to get the LCD screens. And sure enough, the reason why they were replacing all of them is because they had burned in.
But this isn't even plasma, though, is it?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
it is?
think it is. Yeah.
I thought it was just LCD that had just also burned in.
I think it's plasma.
I didn't think you could get flat plasmas, or plasmas this flat.
It's not that flat.
Well, I guess it's not that flat. Whatever.
Anyway, so yes, that is the monitor. So
Speaking of Desert Bus,
starting from over here.
yeah, so this is the cardboard tube samurai figure from Penny Arcade. And the reason we have this one is you probably can't see from home, but he is missing his left middle finger. Yeah, he's only got 3 fingers on each hand because cartoon, but the middle one's missing. Kristen Lindsay from Child's Play from Penny Arcade.
Oh no!
Yeah, his hat always falls off too. Brought him up here because we were doing a giveaway or an auction for Penny Arcade stuff, and she broke it. She broke his middle finger off, I think, while showing him on camera, if I recall correctly. I could be wrong. It may have just broken in transport. But she was like, well, this one's broken, so we'll send the winner one that's not broken, and I don't know, I guess you guys keep this.
The other fun thing about that little guy right there is how horribly sun damaged and faded he is on the
Yeah.
back, because for the longest time
He was in the window upstairs.
He was in the window upstairs that got a lot of sunlight, so he's super faded on the back. Like you can see the difference on camera. It's pretty awesome.
He's yellow on the front and like practically white on the back.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Beside him is a wood burning, like a wood block that one of our chat moderators, Anubis169, made for us and gave to us all at Lurcon. He's from the UK and he came over for Lurcon and gave. Now these are all individual for people, like
for each crew member.
Yeah, they all have Lurcon and the logo and 2014 burned into the front, and then on the back is a different thing for each crew member. And this one is Cam's actually. It's got the glorious Camander, sort of sunbursty cult of personality Cam icon from the Columbus of the Internet. That's what it was. It was the one where he's standing there with all the shining rays behind him, and we put it there because it covers up that piece of 2x4, which is very nice. This is a Minecraft axe, which you'd think would be as simple as that. This is a Minecraft axe, but actually
Pickaxe.
Specifically, sorry, James. Yes, this one was given to us by the company. Are they actually called Hey Lols, or are they? Is that just the brand that they do? You see them at all these conventions. They're at PAX. They're at tons of different conventions. They do hilarious T-shirts and stuff based on video game jokes. They do lots of other sort of gaming related merchandise, like Chrono Trigger jewelry and stuff like that. And at God, I want to say GameX at a convention.
Was it back at GameX?
It was a while ago at a convention. It might not have been GameX. It might have been something more recent. It might have been Calgary. It was Calgary Comic Expo. That's what it was. It was our first year at Calgary Comic Expo. One of the guys running their booth recognized me and was a fan of like Friday nights especially. And it basically I like made some sort of comment about the pickaxe, how I thought it was sweet, and he was like, "Well, here," and gave it to me. It was sort of with this like, "But hey, use it in a video or something, and, mention it or whatever." So now it's here. So
we didn't use it in a video.
Check them out, I guess.
It's in all the podcasts.
It's in every podcast. So value for time, really.
Yeah.
Actually, I did buy something from them recently. They have they have a Persona 4 T-shirt. I got one for Kathleen. It's the ad for Juness, the grocery store in the game, with "Everything's great at your Juness" along the bottom of it. So.
I find, if you go to conventions, there's like tons of people with those pickaxes around.
Yeah, well now they're
pretty
more common now than they were at the time. Like at the time, I was like, "Oh, one of these." I've heard tales, but now they're a little easier to find. And then this was a present I got.
Yeah, so that's actually Graham's, and it's not, in fact, a sonic screwdriver. It is, in fact, a Wiimote.
Yeah, it's a Wiimote. There's the B button on the back. It's got the D-pad and the A button on the front, and the little ones down here, and it's got the plug for the nunchuck
and
a USB recharger because it makes noises and lights up.
Despite that, does it actually have any? Probably doesn't have batteries.
No.
And we've used it as a Doctor Who
prop,
and at least once or twice.
Well, especially at Desert Bus, because we've Andy's done West Country Doctor Who.
Yeah,
right.
And we used it. There was that video we were doing where there was like a guy pretending to a guy being a nerd, dressing up as different Doctor
dressing up as different doctors for bedroom role play.
Yeah. I forget what video that was.
I don't know, but Matt was dressed up like the different doctors, if I recall correctly.
And so we used that one, and I think Matt also had a different sonic screwdriver.
Yeah, he had a different one, so we had different eras of sonic screwdriver. Yeah. Really impractical to use as a Wiimote. Well, if you're using it as a Wiimote one-handed, that's fine. We have
actually used it as a Wiimote on a few occasions.
Trying to do like the controlling an NES game, holding it sideways, it's not practically shaped for that.
No.
So
all right, second level here. Now this is, I think, has generally been our favorite feed dump hat.
It's Cam's.
In the sense that has shown up in a lot of different feed dumps.
Well, I think because Cam uses it all the time, and we used it once as like just a prop that wasn't actually that week's hat.
Yeah, and it's
There's a tag there.
It is Josh Freeman, obeymybrain.com,
Yep.
is the makers of this one.
It may not look like a hat,
Yeah,
but
it's
you
not-
are supposed to wear it upon your head.
I was gonna say, like, there's a pretty good argument that this is not even actually a hat. It's just an actual fangly, like it's just a fang fish or an angular fish.
It's got the Homestar
stuffy.
reference there
Stuffy, but
that you can wear as a hat. It's still not that practical.
yeah,
It really looks like it's chowing down on you, though.
I love this hat.
And then also, in the same vein, is this amazing squid hat that we received quite recently. And I'm trying to remember from where. I believe this was purchased at the... I want to say this was at the Field Museum in Chicago,
It's like
I want to say. Like, this is also not a... Like, this has a tag and everything, too. This is not actually a handmade.
it was from like an aquarium or something.
I think so. And
Where they have
I feel
squids.
bad that I don't remember offhand the name of the person who gave it to us. But it's pretty solid as well. These hats are down here because when we just completed the set, we hadn't loaded the shelves up, and Kathleen wanted to fill in the holes before filming an episode of Feed Dump so it didn't look so bare. So she was just like, giant colorful hats, get in.
And I mean, those particular, I think that totally works. Like, those particular hats are, I mean, we have a ton of hats from Feed Dump and various other things. And so, yeah, we might switch those out at some point.
I just realized how messed up
Different
the
hats.
curtain is back there. You're not supposed to be able to see the door. I'm going to pull that down.
Oh, yeah.
Normally you can't tell because there's someone sitting there. But this, of course, is the Creepy Doll.
And this is prototype Creepy Doll.
Yeah, this is not numbered. This was made by Tally.
Yeah. He's a little, it's a little portlier, I think, than a regular Creepy Doll. It's a little overstuffed,
Yeah,
but he's quite dense.
this was one of the prototypes for the Kickstarter ones.
Now, is the line on the teeth, was that taken away or added?
Yeah, he's not supposed to have a line across his teeth.
Right. So this was, Tally obviously did all the Creepy Dolls for our Kickstarter, and so this was the prototype one. And was there something about his thumbs as well? It was like the other way around? Or something?
I don't recall specifically, but I know that the teeth line was there, and he ended up thinner in the final product.
Yeah.
And this one doesn't have a number on the bottom. The ones that went out for the Kickstarter have in Kickstarter green
individual
thread.
numbered,
They're
yeah.
individually numbered.
Yeah, this guy's so overstuffed that he doesn't actually sit very well because the bottom is all thing. But
And one of the
he's
ones, in case
our Creepy Doll.
in case you haven't heard this particularly weird story, one of the Kickstarter Creepy Dolls has is stuffed within him the body of one of the failed prototypes. Is that Tally made a prototype that didn't work out and dismantled it for the stuffing,
Right, yeah.
but didn't want to just get rid of it, and so used its shell as stuffing for one of those Creepy Dolls.
I want to say that was number 17, but I can't be too sure.
Oh.
Like we've actually said the
Oh,
number.
have we? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
a while ago we did, but
and
I
then
think it was
has
number
the person who
don't think we
received
ever-
that one claimed it?
No, I don't think so. And I and don't quote me on that. I'm not 100% sure. We'll have to
We
talk
have it
to
written
Tally.
down somewhere. Yeah.
And I don't know if anyone's ever noticed this, but what the Creepy Doll is leaning against is a sealed booster box of Magic Core Set 2013. Because
So yeah,
for some reason, whether a clerical error or excitable marketing, they printed way too much Core Set 2013.
well, it was a combination. So I mean, for us, it was a combination of they printed way too much Core Set 2013, and also there's a couple of the like marketing people from Wizards of the Coast were kind of leaving
Yeah.
at that time, and so they were like, I've got all this product that I have to give away.
Yeah.
And like that was, I mean, we did a podcast about it, you know,
The
whatever.
Mega Gillians massive weird draft at PAX East where we
that was like
Opened-
3 or 4 years ago.
where we opened 6 cases of booster boxes and then
Of
opened everything
Magic
and sorted
2013.
them and then drafted the entire. It was crazy. So yeah, basically at that point, if you like said hi to their community manager or like breathed funny near one of their marketing people, they were like, "Here, have a booster box," because they were just trying to get rid of it.
I guess at some point we might use that to do something with, but
This cube is terrible. We should really we should lay this cube out better. This last one on the bottom row. It's got a Fire and Lightning premium deck which is
So
cool
sh-
looking.
So shiny.
And complete. Like, that thing is full. Like, I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure every single card, including the Chain Lightning, is in that deck.
Yep, Chain
Really?
Lightning, Grim
Yep.
Lavamancer,
That I don't think that deck has ever been
Giant Ballard,
Lightning
Bolt.
rooted through for the valuables.
I was going to say,
Lightning.
I'm surprised that somebody here hasn't.
We probably should,
already
because
sucked out
all
all the
we
value.
really need there is the box, and there's some value in there for sure.
Hammer of Bogarden, Price of Progress, all these sweet looking mountains. So that's exciting. But then elsewhere in this cube, I don't know where we got this. I think actually this might have been part of the thing they very first sent to us after we did the It's Magic video. Mike Robles, who at the time was the community manager, who we weren't friends with at the time, but we became friends with, was like, "Hey, that video was really sweet. What's your address? We want to send you some stuff." And I think this was one of the things that they sent.
It was the like Fire and Lightning and whatever the other one was,
Graveborn,
which was way less interesting.
I think so. cool spin down counter on
Yes, yeah.
that. So then this is a Viking hat.
Yep, the Viking hat, always good for when Paul and Kathleen have to try to be Vikings.
Yeah.
I think that was the last time we've used this.
We've probably used it since then. It comes up. We bought it at Value Village. And then underneath it, I don't know why this is underneath it. This is why we got to rearrange this one. So this is the bear hat.
Which is not actually a bear hat, in the sense that it was never intended to be a hat.
Well, I mean, originally it was a teddy bear.
Right.
That was gutted and skinned.
Yeah, so it is actually just the top half of a teddy bear
Yeah, like you can see
that has
like
been
there's
turned
the
into a hat.
there's the eyes and the stitching and stuff. And that's terrifying.
And that was something that somebody had gutted it
Yeah.
and was using it as a hat at PAX.
Yeah, so this was so Kathleen wears this a lot at Desert Bus, as is her right by claim. So this was one of the first PAXs that we went to, PAX Prime in Seattle, and we got this invite to the CCP party. They're the folks that make EVE Online, which was in this like goth club.
Known for quite off the chain parties.
Yeah, and so there was a 6'5" techno goth dude running an angle grinder onto a piece of metal and firing sparks over some girl's butt. That's the kind of party this was. Except that was on stage. Everyone at the party was like, sort of like very average looking dudes in polo shirts, because it was, it was like game devs and journalists and people who work at EB, right? Like, and us, right? We were just like, this is weird.
So they weren't like passing out angle grinders and
No,
pieces of metal
no.
for other people to
So
use.
we went outside afterwards, and there was this guy there who, at the time, we didn't know, but we met again recently, and yeah, he was like real drunk, and Kathleen had one or two, and so they got into this sort of discussion about the bear hat and how great it was, and Kathleen and like a couple people tried it on, and then Kathleen tried it on, and it just looked really good in with what she was wearing. Like it fit her very well. And the guy was like, "That's yours now. You rock that. That is yours. You get it." And Kathleen's like, "Cool." And then the next day we're like, "Oh, I guess we have this bear hat now." And so it's shown up at basically every desert. I think it's on most Desert Bus posters one way or another. I think Kate's wearing it on one of the posters. I think, God, you might be wearing it on one of the posters. I don't know. It shows up on a couple different people, but
It is definitely a common.
yeah, it's great. It's a really, really good hat. And that's
I
everything.
was hoping you were going to say that like the techno goth was wearing the
Oh, that would have been sweet.
bear hat.
No. So that's everything in the middle of the things, but there's much more in the sides, and we're going to quickly move our chairs. All right, now you can see the other stuff. So top left, that is a fake plant that we bought very recently, actually. Didn't we get it for the stabbing video? Yeah.
I mean, comparatively recently. It's
Well-
still like 2 years ago, but yes.
Yeah, I bought
that
it.
that was season 11.
I bought it at now defunct Target Canada.
Oh, yeah.
My
Target
options
Canada.
were limited.
That actually narrows down the time period in which it was available.
Drastically.
It's like 6 months.
Yeah.
Beside that is, of course, a brutal legend figure.
Brutal.
That is, what's the character's name? Eddie. It is Eddie something, isn't it?
Yeah.
I can't remember. It's Jack Black's character in Brutal Legend. Brutal Legend. There's an umlaut.
And that was and I think it was 2 or 3 years ago.
I think it might have been longer than that. Might have been 3 or 4 years ago. It was Steve.
Yeah, Steve, the awesome
Steve Dracogen Dengler.
Yeah, awesome. Steve Dengler gave away a whole, donated a whole bunch of stuff that we auctioned off, including one of those.
Eddie Riggs.
Eddie Riggs. There we go. Thank you.
Including one of those, and he also, we were like, hey, there's 2 here. Why is there 2? And he's like, oh, I got one for you guys too.
Yeah.
And we're like, sweet.
And there's a disc at the bottom of the sort of Rocks and Bones. There's like a black disc for a base, and it's signed by a bunch of people at Double Fine. And it looks really, really sweet. And it was up on some cupboards for a while, so now we're happy that it's somewhere where you can actually see it. Beside that, actually, something we're very proud of, that is basically an award of recognition from Child's Play for all the good work that Desert Bus has done. They gave those out about a year ago to companies that had helped them over the years.
It's sort of like it was an award, given whatever in 2014 or 2013.
2013 maybe, yeah.
But it's sort of, they don't like give out a new award every year, but it's sort of for continuing.
So this is a really cool polygonal Child's Play logo on a green thing, and it weighs a ton. It weighs an absolute. It's a beast.
Definitely commit some sort of murder.
Oh yeah,
with it.
that's a weapon for sure.
Yeah,
but
so that's something to look forward to.
Really proud of that. Next row down. So there's Spot the dog.
Yay!
So now you could do an entire episode on him.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I mean, Spot Spot really needs no introduction. We've done Spot has shown up in tons and tons of different videos. At various times, we've had plans to put him in like every video in a season, and every single time we mess it up for various reasons.
We came close. We were going to put him in every video in the last season, and we got several videos in successfully, and then we did a shoot at Cam's place, and we left him at Cam's place.
And then forgot that we left him
We
there.
kept forgetting to go... Well, first we didn't know where he was. Then we kept forgetting to go get him, and Cam kept forgetting to bring him in. And so there was like 2 months where we just didn't have him.
I believe we probably talked about this on a podcast before, but at one point he was smashed. That was a few years ago.
Yeah.
He was smashed in the back window of Matt's car.
Because it was a convertible, and he got crushed between the mechanism there.
And then,
but I rebuilt him.
Yeah, Graham painstakingly rebuilt him. So what's nice about him being there is that now we know where he is.
Yeah, which is nice. So
for a while, actually, he actually just stayed in the camera bag.
Yeah.
So he would always be with us for like location shoots.
He's part of the gear, yeah.
Yeah.
There was we were so committed to getting him in there in season 11 that there was even one video where we'd, in the run, like in the middle of the run that was successful, where there's one video where we had forgotten, and I actually digitally arted him in on a bookshelf, which was the Flat Earth Society, which I think it was just called Flat Out, the video, yeah. Origins, actually, for Spot, real quick, we were doing a series of shorts for a local software company.
Oh, yeah.
Software company was making a video sharing service, and they wanted content for it, and they hired us to do a couple shorts of this character that we were doing at the time, which was the Evil Inc. boss. It was like the sort of like the evil mastermind running a corporation, and we were doing a set at their place. We were making like a set for this guy to have. We bought actually my office chair at home. We bought for that,
right?
Which was like on clearance, but we wanted to get stuff to have on his desk, and we had like the world's most evil boss mug that's upstairs.
That's not for
no. But that was for that character.
No, that was for different character.
Oh, weird. Oh yeah. Anyway, but we got like a mug and some stuff, and things that were just sort of normal office things, and then we were like, wouldn't it be funny if he had a little like really cutesy thing on his desk? And we were at Value Village in the houseware section, and we were sort of like, oh, this guy, this little resin dog with jet black eyes.
Yeah, it's he's the dog, our Spot the dog I mean, you probably haven't seen him that close up,
There's a couple videos where it's pretty close.
but yeah, he's got these jet black, which, I mean, dogs don't really have, like their pupils aren't the same as humans.
Humans
where
or cats or whatever.
You don't have it, but it's still his jet black eyes.
It's like looking into the void.
Yeah, are one of those things that's like you can imagine like the slow zoom with like creepy music. That he gets kind of creepier the longer you look at him.
It really does.
But anyway, yeah, we like Spot.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I wonder if those videos are anywhere.
They should be.
I mean, the company is pretty much defunct, and certainly the video.
We should have the footage somewhere.
Yeah, I was going to say the video sharing thing is certainly defunct, and the company is mostly defunct. But theoretically, it should be like in one of those orange boxes on the mini DV tapes.
Yeah, should have those somewhere.
Anyway, and then besides Spot, which I actually quite like the juxtaposition because it's also kind of a big thing.
Dog sort of shape.
Yeah, it's actually a lion. I think it's supposed to be.
It's called a Goldie, and it's one of the awards for the Vancouver Island Short Film Festival. Now upstairs, elsewhere, we have awards from previous years, which you probably have seen in the background of a couple of videos. Their awards started as sort of a Venus de Milo shape, but with a camera for a head. So we have two of those. And then it moved to, the first one was like a cast VHS tape.
Right, it was sort of a VHS tape, but made out of resin or something.
Then it moves to the Venus de Milo ones, and then there was a year where it was just VISFF, Vancouver Island Short Film Festival, the letters in a big thing. Then it went back to the de Milo one. And then they hired an artist. This is Brendan Tang designed these, and he's legit. He's a real sculptor, and these things are super cool. And yeah, it's a lion's body, this cool sort of stylized lion body that he made with a VHS tape.
It's a real VHS tape, it's plastic.
Did we get Showgirls? Is that what Johnny said?
Nice.
I think so, yeah. So our friend Johnny, who you'll know from Desert Bus if you watch, he just stepped back after doing the Short Film Festival for 10 years, after founding the film festival. But he was one of the organizers for the show over the years, and we became friends with him over our many years of entering it. Notably, he does not choose the videos that get in or who wins the awards. He just runs the festival, which is why it's cool to be friends with him.
So the fact that we won for a whole bunch of years in a row, our winning streak has kind of fallen off now. But the fact that we won for a whole bunch of years in a row is not because we're friends with Johnny.
Exactly. But we hadn't won for a while, and we hadn't won for the last 2 years since they changed to this award, and we really wanted one because it looks super cool.
And it means our collection was incomplete.
Right. And then so this past year, we did win one. This was Audience Choice. Yes, this was the People's Choice Award for The Pair, which was the video Kathleen wrote of her and Missy in the laundry room with the hilarious pair of underwear.
Yeah.
So that was sweet. Beside that, I love this. James and I were doing... Was this an MTGO Academy draft? It was, yeah. This was an MTGO Academy Magic draft where we were doing ridiculous things, and our opponent started getting upset as we interpreted it in the chat. They started getting salty and just sort of typing random things to us, and
because it was a Magic Academy draft. Your deck was, shall we say, not the best.
Exactly. And they were just saying random stuff, and we're like, well, whatever, we're going to ignore that. And then they started sort of still being salty, but in a more playful, kind of jokey way. And it ended up that we were having this full conversation with them and just sort of playing back and forth. And they were like, by the end of it, they were like, well, this is how Magic goes. This is ridiculous, whatever. But one of the things they said was, you have really good luck. As one entry, and then for future ref for another entry. And then we finally responded, and we're like, we're going to get that embroidered and hang it up in our office.
And then
someone did.
Somebody sent us a awesome cross stitch.
It's not a cross stitch. It's
isn't it? No, it isn't. I thought it was.
It's embroidered on fabric.
Yeah.
With the LRMTG logo, and it says, "You have really good luck for future ref," attributed to Platypus Army, which was the
So he just
person that we were playing against.
He just really wanted to make sure that you understood that your deck wasn't good,
Yeah,
and
but
that you
that
weren't
we
good,
had really good luck.
and that you weren't good players.
Yeah, for
But
future
it was all
ref.
about. It's like for future reference, just so you know,
Yeah,
you didn't do well.
you have really good luck. So we thought that was pretty great.
And then down here,
That's Orcus, isn't it?
yep, Orcus.
The Demon King.
So this was when we a few years ago.
Yes.
We did some work for. We do lots of work for Wizards of the Coast,
For Magic.
but we did some work for Wizards of the Coast for D&D, and we did a series of videos, sort of across loading ready run properties
Across our brands, yeah.
that talked about different aspects of D&D. So we
Yeah.
did a Commodore Hustle that involved D&D. We did a feed dump where we used the D&D cards. We did
The Secret Life of Board
The
Games.
Secret Life of Board Games. And so in order to do that, they sent us a bunch of product. And one of which was Orcus.
Who is to scale with D&D minifigs.
Yeah.
When minifig
So
is
he's-
maybe this big, you can't hear what I'm... it's like... How big are they? Like,
Like
a
an inch.
couple... Yeah, like an inch or something. And Orcus here, because he's a gigantic creature. It might say on the bottom of him, but I can't reach him from here. I
Or-
don't think you can reach him from here either.
So he looks like is he 4 squares?
I think he's 4x4. I think he's 8 square.
I think that's colossal.
He's 8 square grids. 8 squares on the grid. Eight square squares. He's 4x4 on the battle map.
4x4 would be 16.
16. Pardon me.
Yeah. I believe that's
Every
colossal.
time I kept saying 8 squares, and every time I said it, my brain was like, "That's wrong," and I'm like, "What are you talking about?"
Shut up, brain. Mind your own business.
Shut up, brain. Be quiet. You don't tell me what to. Oh, I see.
So anyway,
Okay.
he's some sort of elder archdemon dude. Super dope.
We mentioned him in that. Remember the video that we did with that Jared did for D&D 5th edition with Laura as the
Right.
school teacher, and she's talking about how they've just learned their first incantations to Orcus. There you go. That's Orcus. Beside that, it's a bottle of beer. It's from a Vancouver brewer. What's the name of the? Sorry, can you grab the bottle? It's Persona themed.
Muggles and Warlock.
Right, Muggles and Warlock is the Vancouver brewery who are very, very nerd focused. Maybe to their detriment, but this is a Persona themed bottle of beer that was brought back from Vancouver for Kathleen, who's actually way more into Persona than she is to beer. And it was brought to the office, and then it wound up on there. And I don't know, maybe we'll drink it at some point, but it's there for now. So we can still
It's
drink
there
it and
for-
put the bottle back.
It's there for Orcus to drink.
Yeah, don't they have what are some of the other ones they make? They make some very strange
Presumably some
beer
Harry
names
Potter related
that you're
ones.
kind of like, I don't. Oh, you have that sort of reaction. You're like,
Right.
that's a weird name for. Oh, I get it.
What's the name of the brewery again?
It's Muggles and Warlock, I think. I believe that's the brewery. I don't. That can't be the name of the Persona brew.
Fuggles.
Fuggles and
It's
Warlock.
Fuggles and Warlock.
Oh, Fuggles and Warlock.
That makes more
it's
sense.
around the corner of the thing.
It wraps around the bottle from where we're sitting. While James is looking that up, beside that is a fish hat. Yeah, actually, no, that's not just any fish.
No,
Pardon me.
that is
It's a Magikarp.
Magikarp. Yeah.
Does that have a name on it? Because this one was handmade, but I don't know if this has a name on it. Also, someone put staples in that styrofoam head, so it looks like they have snakebite piercings, which is kind of cool. No, it doesn't. I'm sorry that we can't remember exactly who made all these things for us, but this
It
is
is a custom, Magikarp hat.
It's really
which
good.
It's one of our go-to. This is one of our go-to hats for, any random videos where it's like they all wear silly hats.
yeah,
It's almost always somebody will be wearing this one.
it's really good.
It's a good idea, actually. If you are going to make a hat for us in the future, sew your name inside
That
of it.
would be great. If
And
there's
then we
any way
know,
to stitch
then
it
we
in there.
always know where it is.
Because I know that they come with like tags and stuff, but they get lost. So, did you find any weird beer names out?
Yeah, so they have the Persona, they have the Destiny IPA, they have the Shiva seasonal winter or seasonal white IPA. They have the Beam Me Up Espresso Stout,
Is it
the
just called?
Hopper Texas Brown, which is just the worst.
Wow.
And then Hyper Combo, which is a very Street Fighter.
Doesn't the
themed.
Destiny IPA have a weird name also, though? Because it's based on the game Destiny.
I don't see.
Oh no, the label is like
the label is a little
instead
hop
of the Traveler.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
but it's on like the Destiny background.
And then I was just blocking it there. We've got a TARDIS USB hub.
Which Lily, actually, who happens to be visiting this weekend, gave to me as a birthday present.
Nice. And I believe when it actually is plugged in and active, it lights up.
Yeah, it makes the noises, which actually makes it, which is why it's here and not on my desk. To be honest,
Doesn't actually not the best thing for a USB
it's not
hub.
great. No.
Whew. All right.
Other side up here. This is a skeleton.
Yeah.
That's all you need to know.
I don't think we've ever actually used it in a video, have we?
It might have been a background. I've had that thing for years. I got that when I was much younger. It came with a book. It was like a book about your body
like an anatomy thing?
and the skeleton. Yeah, it was from the same, like the books of like Incredible Cross Sections, right? It was that same publisher. It was the same sort of size of that book, and it came with this skeleton and
Incredible cross sections of your body.
and so you can use it as like a drawing reference or just look at bones or whatever. And it's holding a gun, a tiny gun that Alex put there that is presumably from an action figure. And I have no idea what kind of gun it is. It's might be from like a Metal Gear Solid figure, some sort of rifle.
I mean, it's really like we have a skull, but that's really the only like actual skeleton we have right now. And it's really not big enough to smash cut to, which is
No.
unfortunate.
It's a shame. Maybe we could do some forced perspective or something.
Oh,
Yeah. Behind that is the Magic the Gathering Dual Decks anthologies, which I still want to do some sort of video,
Which is-
like bracket fight with.
Yeah. And in front of those is actually the most recent addition
Yeah.
up here. This was added literally like a couple days ago.
We were at Con Bravo and Cam got given this as a gift.
Yeah. It's salt.
It's varieties of
Well,
Cameron
it's-
salt,
It's supposed to be salt. I think it's actually
like Kool-Aid or something.
yeah.
But it's
it's because as you know, Cam's Loading Ready live show is called Swiftly Tilting Cameron,
yeah.
which is not necessarily because he's always angry when he streams, but Cam does get salty on occasion.
But this is the special Cam varieties of salt.
Yeah,
often,
because it's nuanced.
yeah, this is often Bloodborne related. These ones. So there's from left to right. Camera, please. Fine. W/E, which is like whatever.
Right.
W/E. It's to save characters. And the last one on the far right is sure.
Yeah.
And if you ever watched Cam stream Bloodborne, you'll see all of those and more. Fine.
Yeah.
Fine. Beside that is a Labbit.
Which I believe is Alex's.
Yeah, it's Alex. Could you look up whose design the Smorking Labbit is? It's a vinyl figure from Kid Robot, but I forget the name of the designer. And it's called the Labbit, and then sometimes they have a cigarette, and it's the Smorking Labbit, and I don't know why it's mispronounced that way. And he's wearing some aviation goggles of Alex's as well. And he's been there.
It's part of the.
He's been at the moon base for a really long time.
Yeah, I feel like the lab. It's part of the general Alex mispronouncing things.
Frank Kozik,
Oh, okay, cool.
I think.
Cool.
I think that's who this is.
Sounds good.
And then in the lower one there, we have some oversized, extremely. So we've got Black Lotus and a couple of Moxes.
It's
And,
It's Black Lotus,
Shivan
Shivan
Dragon.
Dragon, Jester's Cap, and Chaos Orb.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I thought it was some Moxes, but yeah. So, I mean, oversized Black Lotus.
it's gotta be
Clearly,
worth more, right?
clearly being bigger, it's
Yeah,
worth more,
It's
right?
all that value.
That some fans sent us some oversized
Two different.
cards.
One person sent us the Lotus Dragon and Jester's Cap, and a different person gave us the Chaos Orb.
Yeah.
Or at least, if it was the same person, it was at different times.
I would love to have because these cards are like they're legit cards in the sense that they were actually printed. That sometimes you see at conventions or something at the Wizards of the Coast booth, they'll have like demo. Basically, it's like a deck to show people how to play.
Yeah.
And they'll have these oversized cards, and I would love to have a full oversized deck at some point. Just I feel like there'd be a lot of opportunity for crap shots or something.
Oh yeah. Well, we did that one with the this card,
Shivan
and
Dragon.
then the Shivan Dragon, and then the
Hypersonic
Dragon.
Yeah.
Figure this one out. The oversized Black Lotus is cheaper than the oversized Blacker Lotus.
What?
Yep.
Why?
I don't know.
How much is this worth?
$25 at
Really?
Star City.
Wow,
apparently.
that's okay. That's more than I thought.
And the Blacker Lotus is both out of stock. I should add at $30. So
The
all
Blacker
right.
Lotus is the one from Unhinged.
Yeah, weird. Okay, and in front of that is a copy of Super Mario Brothers 3 and the gold cartridge of Legend of Zelda. Zelda 2: The Adventure of Link.
And I believe Jer brought those in.
I think those are
'cause
Jer's.
He was thinking of playing them because Jer had the when he was streaming when he was in town, he did a kind of retro game stream,
Yeah.
and he was thinking of playing those. And I was like, we are not hooking up a Nintendo to the streaming setup. You can emulate them.
I don't know how those cards are being held up, and I'm too afraid to look. So, does James know? Oh, clips. They're just being held up by little cow clips.
All right, so then over beside that,
Another very recent addition. This is the Bethesda E3 press conference collectible figures that Pete Hines from Bethesda was kind enough to send to us because I made a joke on Twitter and he said, "Well, I have some extras around." So I actually have my own set at home, but this one lives at the Moonbase.
he sent us a couple of people in the Late Ray Run crew were like, I want one of those.
Yeah,
And so he sent us ones for those people and then an extra one.
nice. So it's got a Doom demon from Dishonored 2. It's Emily. And then in the middle is a power armor guy from Fallout. And they're super cool looking. Below that, being somewhat crushed, is we need to rearrange this cube because this was sort of put in here recently. Being somewhat crushed is a Sackboy,
Yep.
Little Big Planet Sackboy, because the doll is great.
With fangs. Doesn't he have?
Yeah, he's like Vampire Sackboy or something. And he's being crushed by our DVD collection.
Yes.
Is that all of our DVDs?
I
Yeah,
believe that's one of each.
It's even got After Hours Quest for the Grail.
Yeah.
It's got season 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boy, are we behind. Commodore Hustle season 1. It's
Yes.
Magic, the whatever thing, and the first season of Crap Shots.
So the complete collection of DVDs, which will hopefully become slightly larger in the near future.
Really got to get on that. That's a Mickey Mouse hat. I think that's mine.
Yeah, because various times, we've been to Disneyland, but we've never been to Disney. I was sort of trying to figure. It's did we get that when we went to Disneyland, when we were doing the road trip, or I was talking to James because James just recently went to Disneyland, and I was like, that hat looks very old,
Yeah, I think that was when I went.
when you were a kid.
Yeah, with my family in 96 or something, long time ago. I think that was a California family-wide road trip,
And being worn by a head crab hat.
which was given to us by a fan.
I like the idea of a head crab being kind of festive. Or maybe trying to, a head crab trying to, infiltrate Disneyland. And so it's trying to, blend in. Being I'm a mouse.
It's harder to get those Mickey Mouse hats now
Really?
because every ride or store or whatever in Disneyland, you can get themed Mickey Mouse hats. The iconic idea of the Mickey Mouse hat that's just a black beanie with the 2 ears is the template for
But they don't just do this.
hundreds of variations all across the park, and you can customize your own and get ones with ribbons and different colors and things and sparkles and whatever.
Just the normal one.
But I haven't seen one of those at the park in years because everyone gets their own customizable one. I mean, maybe they're not actually that hard to get, but you certainly don't see them because everyone's doing their own. And then the last thing is this guy,
which is
Matt's.
yes,
or was Matt's.
some sort of. I forget what edition he's from.
It's mine now.
Oh, right.
So that was given to me. Well, so I think I kind of guilted Matt into giving that to me when he moved away.
Nice.
Because he was going to, he was getting rid of a bunch of his stuff, and I was like, you should give me something of yours before you leave. And I really don't remember the exact details, but
Well, I remember he had 2 of these.
Not of the exact same kind, though, no.
I thought this was one of the ones that he had 2 of it.
Maybe, I honestly don't know.
So,
We'd have to ask him.
I think we might have shown this in a behind the scenes video or something at some point. But for those of you who don't know, Matt used to be his big thing was he would collect Optimus Prime.
Different variants.
Different variants of Optimus Prime. And in his place when he was living here in Victoria, he had a little display case with all the different Optimus Primes in there. And he realized that when he was moving to Vancouver, he was moving into quite a small place, that he wouldn't have room for all of them.
Yeah.
And so I think he put some into storage, the ones that he really wanted to keep, the ones that sort of had some sentimental value. And then he sold a bunch to a toy store here. And I guess he gave one to James, who gave it to us. Or left it here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's various things here that are technically owned by people, but that are just sort of residing here.
At a certain point, if it stays in the moon base too long, it just kind of becomes the moon bases.
Going forward, what do we, if we add something new, do we have to mention it in the next Lurcast and be like, to keep up, or do we revisit this later when everything's like cycled through?
Well, I think what we do now is we completely trash everything and start new and add a whole bunch of new stuff.
Bonfire.
Well, yeah, by trash I don't mean actually like throw everything away,
Okay,
but
good.
by clear everything off the shelves and just start brand new with a whole bunch
Well, I
of
don't know
other
about brand
nicknames.
new, but we certainly have like
There's a
these shelves down here could use a bit
Yeah,
of
like
spruce
The
up.
plan
hats
has always been to
move
to
things
switch it
out.
up every
'Cause
once in a while.
Originally, a lot of this stuff was on the shelves for upstairs in the streaming office.
Yeah, which is actually, that's kind of interesting. Like, it's
sort of second generation.
this is an adaptation of what we were originally planning to do for the streaming office. For those of you who watched Loading Ready Live at the very beginning of last year,
Yeah.
we actually had it set up with 2 cameras. And we had it set up so that we could like start the stream and be like, hey, we're us. How's the stream going? And behind us there is a bunch of cubby holes with a bunch of cool stuff in it.
Yeah, we felt it was important to have like a set.
Yeah.
Right.
And then we'd be like, okay, now we're gonna start.
And then we'd turn to the other camera.
And then do the thing. And as we did it, as we streamed, and this is one of those things that just, you don't figure out until once you actually start doing it a lot.
Yeah.
Is that we found out that the change in angle thing wasn't really necessary.
Yeah.
And there was the weird thing with like when you're looking at it this way, you couldn't see the chat because the chat was over there. So people kept being like, so how's it going, everybody?
Yeah, it was very weird.
And so it was kind of a weird idea. So we did what you see now if you watch the thing, is that we took what was that background that we had made and took a photograph of that and then just set it up so that photograph was behind us on the green screen in the what we call sort of the booth shot.
And then we
the intro
completely
shot.
dismantled it.
And then we completely dismantled it, and we still have that shelf or part of that shelf in the streaming office, but we actually use it for holding
Like
practical
storage.
things.
Yeah.
But that idea of having like the sort of cubby holes with cool stuff behind us was something that we really liked the look of.
Yeah.
And so when we were building our new podcast set, we decided to translate that down into here.
Yeah. So now you know everything that's on it and why.
Well,
Not
the why is
Because it was a cool place
because
for
we
it.
thought it would look cool.
Yeah.
There's really there's other, like you said, we've got all sorts of fancy hats and other awards and various things. So we definitely could switch everything out or switch a lot of stuff out. And obviously some of the cubbies require a little bit of maintenance. Poor Sackboy being crushed under the weight of DVDs.
Yeah, I'm going to save him in a moment. So, but yeah, I guess that's it for this week because we've talked about everything. So, yeah. Oh, the shelves we got at IKEA.
Very important.
Until next time, this Lurcast is brought to you by you.
Yes.
By supporting our Patreon at patreon.com/loadingreadyrun. So please check that out because it doesn't just support this, but all of our other stuff as well. And we'll talk to you next time.
Bye.